Breaking news that could change your financial future. The House has just made a groundbreaking move that's sending shockwaves through the Social Security system. If you're one of the millions of Americans receiving Social Security benefits, you'll want to stay tuned because this could mean thousands of dollars coming your way. But here's the burning question: will you be eligible for this massive $5,600 back pay and stimulus package? And which 33 states are included in this historic legislation? Before we dive into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on crucial updates about Social Security benefits, stimulus payments, and other financial news that could impact your wallet. Drop a comment below letting me know which state you're from, and I'll personally respond to let you know if your state is included in this breakthrough legislation. Now, let's break down this historic bill that just passed through the House and what it means for millions of Social Security recipients across America. You might be wondering why this particular legislation is being called historic, and I'll tell you exactly why in the next few minutes. This isn't just another routine adjustment, we're talking about a fundamental change that could impact generations of Social Security beneficiaries. The most pressing question on everyone's mind is probably about the $5,600 back pay. Where did this number come from? Well, this figure represents a comprehensive adjustment that takes into account several factors, including the recent spike in inflation and cost of living increases that many believe weren't adequately addressed in previous years. But here's what makes this different from regular COLA adjustments: this is retroactive pay, designed to make up for what many experts say was a significant shortfall in benefits during recent years. You might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true, and I understand your skepticism. We've all heard promises before, but this time, there's concrete legislation behind it. The bill passed with bipartisan support, which is particularly noteworthy in today's political climate. Why did both sides of the aisle come together on this? The answer lies in the growing recognition that Social Security recipients have been disproportionately affected by recent economic challenges. Let's talk about eligibility. Who exactly qualifies for this $5,600 back pay and stimulus package? The criteria are more inclusive than previous stimulus measures, but there are still specific requirements you need to meet. First and foremost, you must be a current Social Security recipient. This includes retirement benefits, SSDI, and SSI, but there's more to it than just receiving benefits. Your income level, state of residence, and when you began receiving benefits all play crucial roles in determining your eligibility. Speaking of state residence, why are only 33 states included in this legislation? This has been one of the most controversial aspects of the bill, and it's important to understand the reasoning behind it. The selection of states was based on several factors, including cost of living indexes, unemployment rates, and the percentage of residents receiving Social Security benefits. Some states have implemented their own supplementary programs, which affected their inclusion in this federal initiative. Here's something that many people are overlooking: this isn't just about the one-time back pay. The bill includes provisions for future adjustments that could have long-lasting implications for Social Security recipients. Think of it as a two-pronged approach: immediate relief through the back pay and stimulus, plus structural changes that could benefit you for years to come. But what exactly are these structural changes, and how will they affect your monthly benefits going forward? One of the most significant aspects of this legislation is how it addresses the cost of living adjustment (COLA) calculation method. For years, many advocates have argued that the current formula doesn't accurately reflect the real expenses seniors face. This bill introduces a new calculation method that better accounts for healthcare costs, prescription drug prices, and other expenses that disproportionately affect Social Security recipients. But here's the question: will this new method really make a difference in your monthly benefits? Let's talk about timing. When can you expect to see this money if you qualify? The implementation timeline is crucial, and I know many of you are eager to know exactly when these funds will be available. The bill outlines a phased approach to distribution, which means not everyone will receive their payments at the same time. Your payment date will depend on several factors, including your Social Security number and which state you live in. Here's something that's causing confusion: how does this relate to the regular COLA adjustments we're used to seeing? This is entirely separate from the annual COLA increases. Think of it as an additional payment designed to address past shortfalls, plus a stimulus component to help with current economic challenges. But will this affect your regular COLA adjustments going forward? That's a crucial question many people are asking. The application process is another important aspect we need to discuss. Will you need to apply for these benefits? Or will they be automatically distributed? The good news is that for most eligible recipients, this will be an automatic process. However, there are some situations where you might need to take action to ensure you receive your payment. I'll explain exactly what you need to do, or not do, to make sure you don't miss out on these benefits. Let's address the funding question because I know it's on many people's minds. How is this $5,600 back pay and stimulus package being funded? The bill includes specific provisions for funding that won't impact the current Social Security Trust Fund. This was a crucial point of negotiation during the legislative process, and it's important to understand how it affects the long-term stability of Social Security. There's also a significant impact on disabled individuals receiving SSDI or SSI benefits. The bill includes special provisions for these groups, recognizing their unique challenges and needs. If you're receiving disability benefits, you'll want to pay particular attention to these specific elements of the legislation. How will these changes affect your current benefits, and what additional support might be available to you? Here's something interesting. The bill includes provisions for certain dependents of Social Security recipients. If you have dependents who receive benefits based on your record, how does this legislation affect them? This is a crucial detail that many initial reports missed, but it could significantly impact families who rely on these benefits. Let's talk about taxes because this is crucial. How will this back pay and stimulus payment be treated for tax purposes? Will you need to report it as income? The legislation includes specific guidance on this, and it's important to understand the tax implications before you receive your payment. This could affect your tax planning for the year, especially if you receive other forms of income. One of the most forward-thinking aspects of this bill is its provision for future economic challenges. It includes trigger mechanisms that could activate additional payments if certain economic conditions are met. Think of it as a safety net built into the system. But what are these triggers, and how likely are they to be activated in the near future? The bill also addresses some long-standing issues with Social Security's infrastructure and delivery systems. This might not sound as exciting as the direct payments, but it's crucial for the long-term efficiency of the program. How will these improvements affect the way you receive and manage your benefits? Will they make it easier to access information and resolve issues with your benefits? Here's a detail that's particularly relevant for recent retirees. How does this legislation affect those who've started receiving benefits in the past few years? The back pay calculation might be different for newer recipients, and it's important to understand how your start date affects your eligible amount. Let's address the international aspect. What about Social Security recipients living abroad? The bill includes specific provisions for this group, and the eligibility criteria might be different. If you're receiving benefits while living outside the U.S., you'll need to understand these particular requirements. There's also an educational component to this legislation that's worth noting. The bill includes funding for programs to help beneficiaries better understand and manage their benefits. This could be particularly helpful for new recipients or those struggling to navigate the system. What resources will be available, and how can you access them? Another crucial aspect is the appeal process. What if you believe you're eligible but don't receive a payment? The bill includes specific procedures for appeals and corrections. Understanding this process is important, especially if you think there might be any issues with your eligibility or payment amount. Let's talk about the broader economic impact of this legislation. How will injecting these funds into local economies affect communities, especially in the 33 participating states? This isn't just about individual benefits, it's about economic stimulus on a larger scale. The bill also includes provisions for financial counseling and support services. This is particularly important given the size of the payments some people will receive. What resources will be available to help you make the most of these funds? How can you access these services? Here's something practical to consider. How should you plan to use these funds? While everyone's situation is different, there are some smart strategies to consider. Should you pay off debt? Save for future expenses? Invest in needed home repairs or medical equipment? These are personal decisions, but it's worth thinking about them now. Looking ahead, what does this legislation mean for the future of Social Security? Does it set new precedents for how benefits are calculated and distributed? Understanding these longer-term implications is crucial for anyone relying on Social Security for their retirement security. As we wrap up this discussion of this historic legislation, remember that staying informed is crucial. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for ongoing updates about this and other important Social Security news. Hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any crucial updates about when these payments will start rolling out. Drop a comment below with your state and any questions you have about this legislation. I'll be responding to comments and providing more specific information about eligibility in different states. Also, share this video with anyone you know who receives Social Security benefits. They'll thank you for helping them stay informed about these important changes. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to your benefits, and I'm here to help you understand everything you need to know about this historic legislation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with more updates on Social Security benefits and financial news that matters to you.